Hi, I'm Ernie Franzen. Welcome to the Journal-Sentinel Editorial Board's Fourth and State. We're here today with Milwaukee County Executive Chris Abele, who is here to talk about his 2014 budget. Let's start with the bottom line for the average homeowner. What does this budget mean in terms of their taxes?
Sure. Well, as with my previous budgets, this budget does not include a tax increase. It keeps the levy flat. Again, it's not that I'm anti-tax per se. Obviously, things need to get paid for. I'm anti-inefficiency, and despite the fact that there's not a tax increase, people will see services in many cases restored. And I continue to believe that including a tax increase is not necessary right now, and I'm not going to do it if it's not necessary.
Okay. In terms of some of those services, let's start with transit, for example. What happens on transit in this budget?
So with transit, we add about 20,000 miles of service. The fares are flat for the regular transit, and for paratransit, we actually lowered the fare by $1. So fares are flat or lowered, service is increased, and obviously, you read about our efforts to bring in MV.
Right. The sheriff isn't terribly happy with this budget. You're making some cuts in his department. You're making some changes in that department. You also have a plan for local municipal police departments to pick up patrols in some areas. Last year, that plan got shot down by the county board. Mm-hmm. What do you think what makes you think you can pass it this time?
Well, everything I propose, every decision I make is made on behalf of not my money, but your money and taxpayers' money. And what I'm looking for, it's not about politics, it's not about personality, it's just about best value for dollar. And even when we talk about how we've changed his budget, it's not cutting public safety. We're putting a lot of investment into, additional investment into public safety. We're just doing it in ways where we know we get a return. Somebody saying invest here is a good return on public safety isn't good enough. I need to kick the tires of that assumption anytime anyone says it on your behalf for tax dollars, and I do, and I'll always do that. With the parks plan, the difference in what we're proposing this year and what we proposed last year is last year we combined MPD taking over the lakefront patrol with having the local municipalities do their own parks. A lot of their police departments do anyway.
Right.
And one of the concerns I heard last year from the board was they felt that this was maybe being forced onto the municipalities. So the way we structured it this year, it's an opt-in. If a municipality wants to participate, they can, they don't have to. Already the 3 largest cities have indicated they want to do that. And I've let the chairwoman know about this and other things in the budget ahead of time. Just, hey, here's what's coming. Here's kind of the rationale, as I do with most of the things we propose. But again, the goal isn't about which department, which team, city, county, who wins. The goal is just better outcomes, better public safety, and getting the most out of our investment. So,
are there supervisors who support the plan?
I think actually even last time there were supervisors who were certainly sympathetic to it. I mean, my sense last year is the concern was more about the process. As I said, feeling either that this was somehow mandated to the municipalities, and again, this time it's not, and also that some supervisors had wanted to know more about it beforehand. So, people know we're proposing it, we've talked about it, and I'm hoping there's a lot more room and time for open discussion about it.
Great, thank you. Another part of this budget that might be controversial is a proposal to close some pools and replace them with other facilities. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
With the rationale behind that.
Sure. Well, right now, first, our proposal is for to replace two indoor pools, one with a splash pad and the other with a skate park. The indoor pools are hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in operating funds just to run. They're not used an awful lot. I mean, the usage numbers are low and have been on a general decline. That's not unique to Milwaukee County. In general, if you look at park systems around the country, you're going to see a lot of parks that are, with their deep well pools moving out of that. 50 years ago, it was a more unusual thing for a public entity to provide a pool. Heck, when I was a kid, it was kind of a rare thing to be able to go swim in a pool. But now there's so many options for kids these days. And all you have to do is drive around the county and look at one of our splash pads now in the summer, and you're going to see, not just seniors swimming, which is great, but you're going to see seniors and parents and kids. And we know the usage numbers are a lot higher. The operating cost is a lot lower. The maintenance cost is lower, and our budget proposes taking all that savings and putting it into parks. Into other. So essentially, it's about moving away from maintaining something that was an investment for 50 years ago and not waiting. It's about investing for the generation that's growing up now, and that's a generation that is going to use splash pads, and in this case, a skate park.
You're also proposing a hefty investment in the mental health care issue in terms of moving it from the current model to a community-based model. Obviously, there's criticism of that too. Can you talk just briefly about what you're doing and what you want to accomplish there?
Well, probably to reiterate the why, Milwaukee County is the last large publicly maintained institutional-based mental health care provider around. Most other states, all of other states, had moved towards community-based care and get better outcomes. The idea is that patients are more likely to be in facilities where they get more individualized care, can be closer to their families, better care, more dignity. So one of the barriers we've got is building the capacity in the community to provide for that. And a lot of our investment, both this year at nearly $5 million and last year, it's been geared toward building up that capacity. And we're going to continue to do that. And in terms of the timeline, one of the things I've noticed in looking at the transitions that other states have made when they've done this, there's always going to be some people who think you're not going fast enough, and there's going to be some people who think you're going too fast. And I don't presume to get everything right along the way. I'm assuming things will go in ways I don't expect. Then we're going to adapt. But the most comfortable assertion I feel making, and this is supported by a lot of data, is moving this direction is going to get better care for more people. And at the end of the day, the single most important thing here is the outcomes for the patients we serve. This is a very, very real need, and we got to get it right.
As Journal Sentinel investigations have shown, there has been a safety issue at the mental health complex. What are you doing there to improve things?
A number of things. We're investing in, there's some capital investments, more security cameras. We're bringing in, adding specifically a quality assurance position. We are working with, we've got in the budget, and some of this has already happened, specific training for police officers so that when they pick up somebody who has mental health issues, they're better informed about how to follow up, how to do what they can do in terms of placement, who to call, what the options are. We're also paying for a dedicated staffer specifically so when an officer has a question, hey, here's somebody with mental illness and I want to make the right thing. They don't have to wait, to find somebody who can answer. There's someone dedicated. And again, we don't just think about this around budget time. I meet regularly with the folks working on the transition, and anytime we find ways to improve our process, we will pursue them aggressively.
Well, thanks for joining us.
You bet.
Appreciate it. And thank you for watching. That was 4th and State.